As a young man, when we studied Haile Selassie, we learned that we must think as kings and think as governors and think as administrators of our people and train the mind to that form of thinking and articulation and edification. It is not a Rastafari, is not a sufferation thing. It is not a commoner thing. It is about representing the royalty as per the respect in all aspects coming out of the Ethiopian throne, and the perfect exemplary we find in Haile Selassie. So, we obviously got him we move as a king and administrator at the highest levels on a global level. So Rastafari elders, I'm a Rastafari people. Here's terrible and a detrimental thing. The United Nations has given official global recognition to 2 indigenous people on the island of Jamaica. One is the Maroons and the other is Rastafari. But in order to exercise those indigenous rights, I know Rasta elder them, here I talk certain clarity so about the birth certificate, and I know say none of I Rasta elder them come to I and say the Rasta youth. How that go? That means when you say when Rasta Bozra are telling you enough have no valid, we're not going to suffer because of that, and you still have to go come to the throne room and learn to deal with it royally. Because half of you as Rasta out there use Babylon dirty white name, and then you say no fuckery. Let me just get pound the case, dirty bumbuckler Rasta. When you claim son of Rastafari and indigenous and out there using Babylon dirty white people name for representing under African culture. You know, say son of Drunkra. Me can say me I represent African name Brown and Gardner and John and Smith and Jones. International law states categorically and unequivocally that if you do business in another man's name, as in Jones, Gordon, Brown, and Johnson, if you do business in another man's name, you have dishonored your ancestry. And having dishonored your ancestry, it means then that nobody has to honor you. That is why when them rob and thief black people, there is no karmatic justice, because you as black people are doing business named Brown and Gordon and Johnson, which means you have automatically dishonored your ancestry. So anybody can do anything and get away with it because you have dishonored your ancestry. That is karmatic, cosmic, metaphysical law. So all of the rest of them out there use Babylon last blood cleat name. When you fail the thing, where is the Rastafari central indigenous office? Wherever Rasta come and gets his Rastafari indigenous identification in a racially identifiable name. That means if you need name, because it's about status. When you operate as a Jamaican, you operate with a full capital's name called John Brown, capital J, capital John, full capital's name all the way. That puts you in a particular status of law. It is called capitus diminutive maxima. The capitals reduce it to the lowest. Now, if you're Rastafari indigenous, we don't want to use the word ID, but for the sake of conversation, let us say the ID. It says Ras Bongo Water. That's an African identifiable name. And you are no longer subject to all the laws that John Brown subject to. If you didn't name John Brown in a Babylon, so once you use the identity of Bongo, Ras Bongo Water, the government of Jamaica only has jurisdiction over John Brown that have a Jamaican birth certificate in full capital as a corporation. You assume responsibility for that full capital's corporations transgressions, and that's why you pay. But once you say it's not you, it's not you. Once you can show. So even me, Babylon can't do a fuck to me, Jamaican people. Because in which courthouse? I'm going to write a court documents in a which name? In the name, the full capital's name of the birth certificate when I'm not acknowledging that and can show usage of a next name. And question any judge and say, what is that full capital? This court document comes in full capitals. My mother and father have never gone to any school. Mrs. Gooding and Mrs. Mullings at Mona Prep taught me that a noun is capital followed by common. So any name in full capitals cannot be me because that is not a noun. But you don't understand that. We stand up in front of them dirty, wicked, criminal, legal fraternity who have been playing you and selling you out to the crown. So here are all these Rastas claiming Africa. But all of them documents is a white man last name them I use. They not just fuck yourself, Rastafari. Where is this indigenous and this power? I am appalled because I grew up in Jamaica as a child, knowing that Rasta seeking constant separation from Babylon. Only for I and I come see forward that what do I see happening now? That it is assimilation. So in this dichotomy, we find say all the Rasta like me were separate. It's not desired or not. No, it is the Rasta who assimilates as much to the system. So if you're a Rasta, you can't hold all a job with the university. That means you're accepted by Babylon. That tells them, yes, that's where we want to be. The same Rastas. We are called out Rastafari. Rastafari is supposed to build its own thing. All of these Rastas that you say, look in position in Babylon and accepting and comfortable with positions in Babylon while making no step towards building original Rastafari indigenous mechanisms of liberation. Watch out for them. Because this is what we have observed. As a social scientist, that within the Rastafari community, it is almost as if how much you can get Babylon to accept you is seen as progressive. It's no longer how much you can create your own thing and do your own thing and build your own empire. It is how much you can get Babylon to accept you. That is abject failure of the mission. Rastafari need to make it a requirement that you read. There's a book called The Mission, The Life, Reign, and Character of Haile Selassie. So, the only reason why this Rasta man could have spent 40 years in the government criminal in system without being tried is because Rastafari failed him. You don't go around that, you know. This is the failure that Rastafari failing, you know. That Rastafari don't all our elder them. Look no, Rasta running up themselves in ganja business, you know. And I see Rasta man come on the radio and say, boy, I'm sick, you know. And I make call to Rastas. I beg for a number for the man for give him cannabis oil for free. I say that I'm a responsibility as a Rasta man when I do this. I know how much of a Rasta element we see a pass out. And there's no Rasta organization. Every Rasta jump in a position for try to make money off of the ganja business. But there's no collective concern to say we as Rastafari with this real issue of our elders getting old. If it's even the elder them know as Scott's Pass or any of the bingy yard them. We're supposed to organize and the Rasta man or whoever doing the cannabis oil make a contribution. And the people them contribute to them to get the ganja. We support Rastas up every bingy, every one of the Rasta house them should have a processing facility. Processing cannabis oil just for the elder them to stay alive. Y'all need worse than gunshots, you know. Now, when the time comes for the dead now, you know. Because you have a set of Rasta elder, you know, that they come round here, you know, and come try to tell you about themselves, you know. All present Rasta organization, we have burned unapologetic fire, you know. We have burned the Christafaris, and we are burning a fire upon the Reggaefarians. But most importantly, we are burning an unapologetic fire upon those Rasta elders that did come round here and try to play like dirty Aaron and Moses in a dirty Bible, you know. So rather than tell us of Haile Selassie, because one of the stagnation of Rastafari is because all these organizations form, telling us of other people and bringing us other people's doctrines and not the philosophy, directives and imperatives of Gadamawe Haile Selassie. You did not teach us of Haile Selassie. So we just have to stay around and settle on a dead off, because we can't see the promised glory until those who are sent to do it manifest it. When the time is up, you have many tekel uparsing. You have been put in the scale and found wanting, even to I Rasta elders there. Big up to the crew from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church that still keep the fire burning. The children and the respecters of Abuna Ishak, holy man, who as a child was taken to the palace by Haile Selassie and lived his life at the palace until Haile Selassie came to Jamaica and said, you must go, the Rastas in Jamaica need you. And Abuna Ishak tell us personally, as a man, he says it was the most painful thing. He said he spent his life hating Rasta because Rastas were the people that make him leave from around the foot of Haile Selassie. But him come to love Rasta. And he taught us of the king and the intent of the king. He grew up in the king's palace. Some little Rasta elder was sitting on some bush and try to make himself seem important. Can't give I no chat. You can manifest nothing. Here it is. The only way that there is it means that none of the Rasta organization has a proper outreach program dealing with Rastafari within the established confines of Babylon penal system, you know. It means that the so-called love that these Rastas claim, it means that there is no outreach program. Well, no, so, all right, once a month, between 12 tribe, Bobo, Ray, gather up, I can check the Rasta them and I prison them. You know what I mean? Supposed to have a list of every Rastafari in all of the prison them around Jamaica and lock up. Supposed to be a business if you did real. This elder shouldn't stay 40 years if you did care Rastafari. When you don't care. When you care for child look position in a Babylon. One thing you'll never see me with. We are successful and indomitable for the fact that I have never. Babylon can pay me and give me a salary and a paycheck and me claim so that is progress for Rastafari. I hear that. Self-sufficiency. A bunch of collective failures masquerading under the name of Gadamawe Haile Selassie. Pretenders to a throne that does not even exist. Bless up to my general, Prince Haile Selassie, the president of the Ethiopian Crown Council. I serve the Ethiopian Crown and the Crown Council. Now, Bagalaks, drunker Rasta boy and Rasta elder can't come tell me how it got. Repeating Christafari doctrines and trying to tell about Bible. The papyrus of Annie and the book of Coming Forth by Day and by Night, otherwise called the Egyptian Book of the Dead, mentions Rasta over 50 times. It says Rasta is the door to Heru. Heru is divine spiritual light, enlightenment, and wisdom. 360 degrees of clarity. Rasta is the door. Notice the levels and the depths on here. And most Rasta don't go there, so most Rasta stuck at the door and just repeat a doctrine. If the thing not growing, then it is stagnant and it's just an indoctrination. The Rasta, them in here, them come with nothing new. Them not come with no new knowledge. Just repeat the same regurgitations of Haile Selassie. Not new. They have done nothing. I don't want a Rasta like me. The real warriors love I. You can't deny it, Rasta community of Jamaica. The fact that an elder is 40 years within the penal system And it's when him dead and no one talk about it. Means that you fail yourselves. Where is that outreach for you one another? Where is that supposed organization? Haile Selassie left us the Ethiopian World Federation. You go up to 12 tribes, it have the Ethiopian World Federation charter. I don't know back and a man and tell me about Gadman rather than about Haile Selassie. I go up at Bubba Hill, them have the Ethiopian World Federation charter hide in a room, but them a tell me about Prince Emmanuel. And so forth and so forth. As me say, them coming like dirty Moses and Aaron in a dirty Bible. Well, lick the rock. And when the water come, rather than tell the people of the glory of God Amawe Haile Selassie, them try and make some great story around themselves. Many are called, even fewer have been chosen. But you see, the ones that have been sent, you pretenders know nothing of us, cannot declare us. We alone declare who we are. Called and chosen, nah, regulars that. All these millionaire Rastas and millionaire reggaefarians and a Rasta elder means that, do you understand? That it means is that if I and I have to make even a defense of a particular right of our people, contrary to the government, it means a Rasta would have sit down and watch I do all the time in prison, even in the defense of that right. And then postulating, they don't know, you're not ready. There are two indigenous peoples recognized by the United Nations. The Maroons and Rastafari. I belong to the two. I function within the rights and the powers based on the rights and the laws afforded me by the United Nations Declaration for the Rights of Indigenous People. We don't see no Rasta doing that. I see you keeping reggae show and begging the dirty Jamaican government permission for ganja use at the show. What herb bumbleclad curb? Even the Rasta lawyer them a sell out. I'm sure the Rasta lawyer them a sell out too. Oh, you for have a rebel salute and have a Tony rebel as a Rasta man. We push ganja. Mr. Barrett, we share the same. What he said? 2 R's, 2 T's. Our great grandfather them said we must be double rough and double tough. So here we now. Oh, if we have Rasta law in the family. And the revised breaches of Dangerous Drugs Act. I'm sure it's some common thinking most Rasta have, you know. Them don't even think like kings, you know. Them think for beg Babylon permission. They don't think as kings and see where within the system is their way to step through fearlessly, you know. The revised breaches of Dangerous Drugs Act. Big up to Mark Golding, former Minister of Justice. Brethren from Mona Prep used to call me salad god in a football, because I pair salad with salad boy and laugh as a baller. Big up yourself, Mark Golding. You made a bold step. The revised breaches of Dangerous Drugs Act. Section 10 states categorically, listener, why a Tony rebel and a rebel salute shouldn't need no license, no permission from no government to run any ganja herb curb at no rebel salute. I'm sure no we're joking, we use real life situations, you know. The law says, go and check it, the revised Dangerous Drug Act says, the rules mentioned in the previous above section 654 or whatever pertaining to the possession of ganja do not apply to Rastafari for religious use as sacrament. It's there in the fucking law. So why then, which attorney advised a Tony rebel and a rebel salute? Rather than stand up as a Rasta stalwart and say, no, me name Tony rebel, I Barrett me name. 2R, 2T, double rough, double blood clot tough. The law says section 10 say. The rules pertaining don't apply. I'll call them out to that. We don't call them out to that in our under the court. So if me drunk a little me, as the son of Arthur Barrett, can do it. Patrick Barrett. That's the great Tony Rebel. Where our great grandfather them tell us say Patrick Barrett. Arthur Barrett, I remind you. Where them say 2 R's and 2 T's in a Barrett. You must be double rough and double bumbuckler tough. That means say when the government come, if you stand up and say which we make a union rebel to one rebel. Go around the world, you make one talk and the whole world look upon dirty Jamaica government like drunk and shame them. We're not supposed to be seeking validation from them as Rastafari. But to exercise the authority and stand up as a Rasta stalwart and say, yo, the revised Breaches of Dangerous Drugs Act states in Section 10 categorically and unequivocally that the rules mentioned in the previous sections pertaining to the possession of ganja do not apply to Rastafari for religious use as sacrament. The reggae show, its use is always sacramental. Whether you use it make a pum pum wash, whether you use it make a soap, whether you take it for ganja oil for medicine, it is always sacramental. So all these powerhouse name brand Rastafari are incompetent to defend Rastafari and Rastafari rights. You mean I make Babylon set a precedent for come make every Rasta ask them for license and permission? When the law entrenched say you don't need a permission. Somebody must, like me say now, I people them, the Rasta man them need for first thing is, stop going like you don't want to call the woman. Big up to the woman them, the Rasta woman them that empower I. Where every day make me know say you mean King Bozra, we see where you say you can do it. I listen to the stories about the man them constantly oppressing, suppressing and or you mean daughter you go on like you too strong, or you for upfront and the woman them for upfront and the set a bomber fuck dance Rasta clot. Let me explain to you. Haile Selassie could not have gotten the throne if he was not married to Empress Menin. It was her royalty, compounded with his, that qualified him superiorly to the throne and for the throne. But you fuckers, behaving as bomber fucking Christafaris, trying to mimic Christendom and trying to suppress the goddess and her divinity. Fuck all of you who claim in Rastafari and suppressing the black woman. Die! Because you try to suppress the source of our life. You must die painfully, miserably. The woman is everything. She is manifestation. It is called male linear logic that I have, from which you get patter, from which you get father, from which you get pattern. So I set the pattern using male linear logic. But she is mother, matter, from where you get matter. She makes it into matter. And you're trying to suppress her as a bunch of dirty, stinking, rotten Christafaris. We're calling them out, you know. And Rasta women, go anywhere in there, any set of Rasta man want to say I suppress Rasta woman and talk about it enough to talk. Haile Selassie ascribe Empress men in her job. She go around and while he's making a speech here, she's doing her work. She funded the war. Any set of Rasta man that telling about woman for quiet and don't want to push up the woman in front. There is a set of Christafari and you can't make them fall on. And them know enough of there around them Rasta woman, them boy, they are old down and backward and suppression. And you say why? No mercy when I beg and when I want a Rasta boy like we. We are born the 12th of September. They say we are Virgos. Women are a sign. Vagina is by nature my first business. Woman is my sign. Vagina by nature is my first business. And we ain't pussy whip. We are straight bomber rascal alpha. My mother teach me not woman no take my macho. But we honor the mystical divinity of the female erotic divine. We don't apologize for that. So when some boy claim to them a Rasta and spend the last 50 odd years and suppress the Rastafari woman them not the organization and tell them to them not for talk and all them things. And that's why I don't get the balance. That's why I don't do nothing and not reach nowhere. Only if I suppress the black woman. You're no better than your white masters that you monkey as Christafari. It's not no Rastafari. Any boy here try to suppress Rastafari woman and culturally and spiritually aware black woman. That is a Christafari. Rastafari glorify her up. King Selassie I married upon the night where him crowned. And tell the priest, and the priest look upon him and say, it's supposed to be 2 weeks later. Him say, look here, you're going to do what I say. King Selassie break tradition, you know. So when you see some Rasta boy come and I go on like him want to follow Babylon to the team, he's not a Rastafari head creator. It means you break tradition based on what the time needs now. We are nothing. The clarity and alacrity and power and I manifested. A black Rastafari woman give me that. If it's for man alone, some boy around cocky competition, you know. I would have try to oppress you and stop you and try to kill all your ability and make you feel doubtful, you know. So we burn out all of them Rasta elder there. And any Rasta organization that is suppress the woman, it is of no good and no use. Because Haile Selassie put Empress Menin up front. Special big up to Richard and Ronald Dennison, sons of the dentist Dr. Dennison. My father's friend, and whose house I used to run up and down every day. My friend them from Mona. Forget, rainy day on University Crescent, could not play with remote cars. Nothing to do. And Richard and Ronald Dennison, Ronnie, big up Richie, for going for your father's chess set and teaching me how to play chess and how to think strategically. I'm eternally grateful. Some boy are going like a draft game this. You better be thinking as a chess player and think 7 moves ahead. Every possible permutation on the board, 7 moves ahead. You win because you've already won. Excuse me. This is not a drill. This is the real McCoy. The woman is the most powerful player on the piece on the chessboard. The queen. She moves any amount of directions in any space, in any direction, any amount of space. The queen effectively is there to defend and protect, because the symbiotic relationship within the chessboard is that even though the queen is the most powerful player, her game is over when her king is dead. So now because she spends that power making sure the king remains untouchable in order to lead the rest of the troops. It's a symbiotic relationship. So the Rasta man who don't understand that is not sent to do nothing for Haile Selassie. Lie ma tell. Because it means he would not have had any of the clarity and understanding of the ways of the king. Again, the text is called The Mission. The life, reign, and character of Emperor Haile Selassie. That is who we exemplify. So when I was a young Rasta, and go around the fireman them. And my father work hard and buy me decent shoes. And the man them tell me to take off my shoes and put on tie and bat and slippers. I have to remind them, say, I've never seen a picture of King Selassie yet and him look shabby, you know. So now boy can't see me look shabby, you know. A man look at me and say, boy, that Rasta you're a paradox, you always dress. And I said, drunk. My father grew a king in the house. You want me to disrespect that upbringing? I have never seen an image of the king. So when you see how some Rasta man and them chaka chaka, a boy know the king, him can't afford for chaka chaka. You're representing something. When I was a ballad and I carry my ear in a waves, I'm hearing a bling. I'm here brushing my hair and well ducks down on waves. Them time me that texture. And this is when I find King Selassie and my black glory. I could not afford for bring it down by looking shabba. If I represent black glory and then carry myself chaka chaka. Pretenders again to a throne that does not exist. We are called them out, man. The doorway to our political liberation right now is edifying the black woman. Why are we still functioning using Moore and Gordon and Barrett and Bernard? It means you don't have no rights. You don't even ask for human rights, because look at the birth certificate. You are not there represented as a human, so you cannot get human rights. Understand this. The birth certificate, which you claim to use that name, it is in full capitals. Capitus diminutive maximal. It denotes you as a corporation, a living dead. You are a company. You, the human being, end up, them trick you into standing responsible for this corporation's debt. Even though this corporation has a bond, it's called stocks and bond. You are the stock. Your birth certificate is the bond. Look at that birth certificate in the middle at the bottom. There is a red number. That number references a bank account of a bond trust that was set up. If you don't understand that, that means some brethren the melanin. That means melanin. We need a Rasta ID. I say Rasbonga melanin. That means Omar Ryan is the next. It's the next entity that you choose to govern and manipulate. It's not for manipulating. You see me? That's the way I offer there. Black woman, any set of man that don't want putting up, who have shown the ability, the articulation, the dedication, the persistence. From eternity till now, and a boy still don't want to give no ratings. Want crutches though. But him no want give no ratings. You know, for talk, that means that the whole thing imbalance. If you have a Rastafari gathering and the Rasta daughter them can't talk, that means that the perceptions and the concepts of what the talking is imbalance. It no wonder it has gotten nowhere. Because a set of women had listen again. We are showing how it going. We are bringing it down, you know. A set of women would not have had that Rasta elder there 40 odd years knowing about it and don't do nothing. The nature of women mean that them couldn't sleep, them couldn't eat them dinner, them belly bottom with a cramp till them do something about it, put the car, go look about him, go sit down in there, ask the prison permission for going in and give him a proper bath. The woman them would have do that tire. Bunch of man just care about themselves. I recognize that I'm capable of thinking that way. That's why I'm in a left females out and nothing what I do. Born the 12th of September. Woman is my sign. Vagina is naturally my first business. We honor the divine womb and what it brings forth. So Rastafari, wake up and stop putting down the woman them. Black men in Jamaica everywhere. We need to understand that them no want to thank him and them want to know say you can be a king. If he's a real king, all if you have 100 girls, she will say I want to be 101 because I prefer have a 100 of a good man than she could have a whole a drunk of herself. Far from pussy whipped. But it's true, we know, so we come from the hill that is at the base of the Valley of the Two Moons. We honor that. We honor the black women. Rastafari, Ballad, 70 at church, every man, mama. Because every black woman has put out for some black man, whether it's our son, our brother, our man. Every black woman has put herself on sacrifice for a black man. I want to disrespect that. Of course, them sick and them crazy, and the hardest thing, oh God, my own mother is a terrible. Can't stand seeing this. She would have mad me. Would not even question that. I have sisters there. Oh God, I grew with my sister. I'm like, them bumper clot, yeah. Them just think away and move different, yes. But would I replace them or want them to not be there? You're mad. Yeah, man. Big up my youngest, Ayana, you know, you're a terrorist. But you see the and Bobby Pittman, no boy nobody can stop me from love you and care about you. And if they ever try complain to me about me, nobody can complain to my brother and sister them to me. Come now when you tell me about them and me and them grow, go suck your mother. I know everything about them already. You can't come to me about my brother and sister them, you know. I'm loyal to them, you know. You can't tell me about my sister, my drunken sister and brother them when me grow with and know everything about you. Shut up, you're gonna get a box. You come tell me about them. No, you will not disrupt that unity. Because if you really cared, you'd have called us together and said, Daneyel, talk to your sister, she do this. For me, I come talk to me behind her back, it means that you don't really care. You think Bobby grown a fool. I was the heir apparent and prince. He taught me all the ways of a king to administer. Whenever my father was not in the house, I was held responsible for everything everyone did. Because I am junior, and I must bear that responsibility. Think is a punk grow me, is a king grow me. We are at that point. It's a critical point. We are indomitable once we as kings organize around the power of our women. That's a magic formula. Most of the things I get done, they never see me doing it. I walk into most government office or most office anywhere in the world, they might give me some shit. But the sisters get it done. I don't need nothing more than for them and tell them, say, sister, ask him for this section, that subsection, that here is the document. And she gets it. Because she's confident that this king has focused himself and is edified and know what she knows that she can be led. Because we demonstrate that long time. So, in a Rasta organization, it's just cool now, my sister, Carlota Sarmiento da Costa, Colombian sistren, excellent translator, translates all our works and things in Rastafari. Carlota, if I ever met them, know you, Carlota, man. Worked in Jamaica as a translator, you know? Someone that we communicate and share enough reason in Spanish as a Spanish speaker. Introduced me to my brethren in Colombia who runs the Black Library of Haile Selassie and keep a Rastafari party. Hope you and your mama and your kids well blessed, Carlota. You see, a mi gente, mi familia de Colombia. Simeon, hasta te veo. So we have to do that now. Come together and say, this is not supposed to happen. We must. We have no choice now. You see the crunks of the matter where the world could have gone, you know, if you're not ready and unified. No itchings, man. You see me? So we trot the world and say, yo, we have the biggest army. When they reach a German and army, I have to do a look. Anywhere in the world, I go and say red, gold, and green on the Lion of Judah. I'm well taken care of. Rasta have the biggest army. So we could organize. We know what we need to do. We know what we need to do. We need to first secure our food preservation. But before we do that, what's the first thing? We need to liberate ourselves from the status of capitis diminutive maximum. You are all they can charge you all for anything. That's why they're not for nothing. You're subject under anything they do because you're a crown-owned entity once you use the Jamaican birth certificate. The word register comes from the Latin word regis, which means to assign superior ownership to the crown. From the Latin word re, regis, re, where you get Spanish for king is re, regis, Regina. Every court documents in Jamaica says Regina versus, is you versus the queen. So everything is registered. You assign superior ownership of all your things to the crown. You don't even own it again. You register your child, so the child's birth certificate is filed with the registrar, who is the deputy records keeper for the crown. You have signed over the child to the crown. Babylon to assume even the crown. What they do is when you sign that, when your parents sign that birth certificate, you the living man, since them sign it and give over, and you the living man and all your estates and all the wealth that you naturally would value, they assume all responsibility over it and use that as collateral for loans. Yo, you're comfortable being slaves, using full capital's name, owned by the crown. You're comfortable being a straw man. And any set of man, let me explain something to you now. Any set of man, a boy them there at least, any set of boy who try getting to make progress. There's no progress until you're free yourself from that in a black people. Because it means that until the Maroons have their own identification system, meaning say, when a Maroon go into a store, he's supposed to show that ID, and it not even GCT must pay because that goes to the crown. It's a tax-free status. And until Rastafari have that, because when the Indigenous, they have to negotiate all your shipping rights. It means that once a Maroon has his Maroon ID, and get rid of done-said Ferran, Failure Williams, and all the other done-said Maroon colonels who are incompetent and incapable of leading us forward. It means that when a Maroon have him ID, it means that when my things them come, say when I ship down my t-shirt for print for 6th of January, when I go to Mobi, and I show them, I says, no, and I pull out the Constitution, I say to the head custom there, you want to breach this? My things have to come in duty free. Because it shows that I come to Maroon. And the 1738 surrender show, you want to try to charge me tax now? Then I carry to Constitutional Court, bumble old dunce, servant for the Queen. That's how it's supposed to be. And any set of Maroon no understand that. Backward and dunce. And any Maroon leadership who can't present that to you backward. Any Rastafari leadership or guidance who is not thinking about your indigenous autonomy and attendant rights. Because it means as per the United Nations Charter for the Rights of Indigenous People, Rasta supposed to do all kind of development, and the government of Jamaica can't intervene. If a Rasta man are running his sacrament centers, we don't have ganja bases. Every community must have a Rasta sacrament center, and government can't ask how much ganja sell. Because as per indigenous rights, you have the right to your autonomy and your autonomous self-sufficiency and economic empowerment. Fuck the Jamaican government who choose to work for the Queen. When you don't understand. And any political future, I forgot separating from that. Because it's not just Rasta. Come here talk about Maroon and Rasta, but this extends now when the whole Jamaica realize that we need slave for the crown and you don't want to be that no more. We can't work as that. That means that you have to stop working. That's why these friggers in Parliament refuse to get rid of the crown. And that them have to do. And make this a republic. That means that the state of Jamaica is owned by the Queen, you know. Because the state of Jamaica was a document that was given to them by the crown. So the shareholders of the state of Jamaica is not the Jamaican people. The Jamaican people are the assets of the state of Jamaica, not the shareholders. The shareholders. So, you see all the money where them claims say the state of Jamaica or World Bank and all of that. You see, once you do away with the state of Jamaica and start doing business as a nation, as the independent Republic of Jamaica, all of the bills of the state of Jamaica is up on its shareholders. That means that you Jamaicans don't owe a fuck. It's the crown that has to pay that blood clot back. The Jamaica Labour Party pull a scam on Jamaican Rasta, you know. How is it? When Bustamante went into Coral Gardens, Jamaica was a British colony. It was under the orders of the Governor General and the Crown that Bustamante do what him do. So how come the Jamaican state of Jamaica trying to pay Rasta? It means it look like them probably check Rasta. the Rasta them selling out, me say, they probably collected X amount of money from the crown and pay on the X. Because it's a crown responsibility. Because Jamaica was a British colony at the time. Is the British crown supposed to pay Rasta in a pound? Not the dirty Jamaican JLP government that pay only in a Jamaican dollars when they get scammed. Again. But no run up and down behind some Rastafari who no secure leg of Babylon. Because no feel say their position in Babylon is some sort of sign. They're here to lead you into perdition. Those who come with any degree of light would not need to be given a salary. You clearly have no idea how to identify your true kings. And hence you will wallow behind commoners seeking light. Real. We teach the sons them when they burn ganja, yeah man, say you must always have water, water is an essential. It brings about, homeostasis and equilibrium in the body. I beg your pardon, I people. But that's where it must be. And anyone who cannot visualize, who cannot take you there, who does not have fearlessly understand how to carry us as a collective there, clearly they're not here to lead. Me can show that, me sure of that, Me know so them not come to do what I am capable of doing. They're incompetent at it. They have not even presented any quality of clarity for sure. They are just seeking to grovel in the system. We know all of them. Any young Jamaican is going to join PNP and JLP, means they don't even have the oomph to recognize. No, Omar. If you want to reach parliament, start your own party. If you want to reach parliament, you can't change it. That's the thing. Or if you're supposed to recognize, say, yo, this, it is imperative that you do it outside of them. Because you cannot be tainted by them. There's no way you can go in there and change it. Neither PNP and JLP. The best bet we have right now, Omar, a man like you, me say, the Independent United Congress. I run under the Independence United Congress. Or, because it's supposed to be merging with the Garvey Party and a couple of that. And do something outside of those two. Those two have served the Queen. They were a colonial institution, my brother Omar. PNP and JLP was set up under colonialism. They have both served as colonial crown governments. Hence, PNP and JLP are by virtue of their creation. They were created as a resistance to Marcus Messiah's Garvey People's Political Party to uplift black people. That means they will never do that. They're actually a counteraction to existing, to lifting up black people. Nobody wants to go back into the role that Norman Washington Manley played in the imprisonment of Marcus Garvey. Give thanks him grandson. Him son Michael actually gave me some access to alacrity and edification which I can now share with you even as it pertains to law and the legality and the scams that them having under. But no one, we have never discussed in history, just sidetracked the role. There was an open war even in the council between Marcus Garvey and Norman Washington Manley. And if Manley could have fight against Garvey, fuck Manley. If Norman Washington Manley could be fighting against Garvey, fuck Norman Washington Manley. He was a master mason, worked for the Queen, went to war for them. He saw himself as a British first, not as a Jamaican. Let us be honest. We need to stop pretend. Let me say, a queen once told me, she said, burn out the aspirants, the people with aspirations are the danger to us as a collective. The people with aspirations who want to be a part of this and a part of that. Fuck y'all and your aspirations. The aspirants are probably the ones we have to put on a wall first and shoot. Because they're going to be the perpetual problem. And I have no aspirations. I am what I am. I am Rastafari. Tenastilin Ixabir must gone. Abata Chinoy, Besame met nor, Besame give me these mangusta timta. Kibila Amlak, Rastafari, Haile Selassie. I am a Kana Shanti Union of Indigenous and Ashanti that is called in Jamaica the Maroons. Na Yankee Pong Picky Boo. That is all I am. Who I am. I have no aspirations. And remember, just as much as my ancestors have been indomitable, I'm sure all me are doing it must manifest because it is meaningful to the people. It come out of us, out of my bloodline of liberation. The detractors can't do anything about it more other than step aside, Because this is coming with a force and a fire of ancestral, unapologetic power that nobody can stop it. Jamaica is the eye of Africa. We must free Jamaica from the yoke of the Queen. You see, most Jamaicans, them can't ask anything because if you talk for free Jamaica from the yoke of the Queen, the fact that you use a full capital's name and are a subject of the crown means they can charge you for dissension. Just as though they know they can't. These are the things that I've spoken. Even when we see the Coptic country row, we declared even the laws that tell the Prime Minister, I say you can't go in there. I say I carry, if you try go in there, I carry to the Inter-American Courts of Human Rights. That Jamaica, you and your own is a signatory too. And we already have a precedent. See, I know them can't go in there. They must have fishy around. Because when them lawyers, them check, them say what the dirty Rasta say, I saw it go, them check and them say, bumbo clot, I saw it go. As we say, we learn to assess every possible permutation of the game up to 7 moves ahead. We would not even have spoken out if we weren't already sure of victory. The Art of War by Sun Tzu taught us a very long time ago that the real general would have already seen the victory in his head step by step long before he entered the battlefield. We can declare that if the government of Jamaica tries to go into the Coptic country, because there's no other entity, no other group, no little group that formed in Jamaica, so they can defend it, because all these groups are people that use full capitals, subject of the crown surnames. They are not in the position. The only stoppage coming from the indigenous people using the 1738 surrender, the fact that the 1962 constitution, and the fact that we are who we are and the historicity is there to stand in the world. They thought that there was no Maroons left to defend the thing. Big up on yourself, Chase, Kenrick, Demani, Tallman, the whole of the warrior them, up our compound, Kearney, Darcy, a compound Mama Darcy, Mama Cans, yeah, hold it firm, nobody can shake the thing. Clarity and alacrity and freedom is ours by birthright. That's a Jamaica for there. Stop doing business as the state of Jamaica and having the crown exploit you. Free yourselves from that trap. Stop being the asset of that crown corporation. They have tricked you into slavery on paper, and you don't even know it. And any set of man that comfortable in him woman I use, any boy that's a man, because real man don't want him woman as slave, you know. So any man, any boy comfortable for no say woman, him queen, is subject to a crown and operate under a full capital's name. Him no want to liberate him nation, or who them if them no want to liberate them nation. That which I say I could have just hold for myself, you know, I'm showing us on the need to liberate all of we, you know, from under this crown corporation full capital's name scam that nobody explained to you. There are all these numbers on your birth certificate and you know not what they reference, but you attempt to use that to identify you when you don't understand it. Stevie Wonder, if you believe in something you don't understand, you're bound to suffer. The name of the song is Superstition. Let there be light, man. Free up on yourself from bondage and slavery. Rastafari, free up on yourself from the bondage and slavery of using Brown and Miller and Garden. If you still a username, that means you're comfortable being a slave and looking at position on the plantation. You're not ready to be a free indigenous, living, sentient being with a soul. You're not ready. And you may as well kill yourselves. But if you're ready to free yourself, all who are ready for free themselves from the birth certificate and file the requisite affidavits on the state under the backing of the indigenous people, because from me as every Maroon is indigenous and sovereign. Me no need done said Colonel Ferran for exercise no authority. Just being the great-grandson of Bawil, I exercise that authority. Because I understand it. Commoners like Ferran can understand it. So I say anybody who are free, I show you the process. Link I. Email is axxzum@gmail.com. axum@gmail.com. Or link I and I via phone. I will show you the process and the documents to file on the corporate Jamaican state. It's called claim of right and power of attorney, in fact, and you file that at them courthouse and stop operate as a full capital slave. But here the trick to it now. And that's why they might try to trap the Maroon town them, you know, because the only answer now, you know, is the Maroon and the rest of them supposed to. Maroons have the one thing that nobody else have. We have the geographical reality of a free land, from which you can operate and disseminate and create your own citizenship and get all of who want free, indigenous honorary nationality. I want to use our documents and free and not subject to the crown. And that's the only reason why I would go for the Maroon Colonel, because I can't have them knowledge and make lesser men who have not been training themselves to lead their people in charge of it. Because bad mind is a bitch. When you have my brain, I spend my whole life my face bad mind, you know, because people are fighting my brain. And I just watch them fight and know so they're going to come third. Because the kind of brain I have dictates that first and second is going to be mine. They might slow down some things, but they never stop nothing. So that's the only reason why you see me step for Maroon Colonel people. Because when I talk as Maroon Colonel and take on the government, everything I forgot fix. Because I not talk to Andrew Holness, the Governor General, as a representative of the Crown. The Governor General surrendered to the Maroon Colonel. The highest man upon the land is the Maroon Colonel if him have sense. But you cannot put a clown. You can't put a crown upon a clown and call it a king. So, that's our problem. We have been putting crowns upon clown and I try to call them kings. Nah. You need to remember again, my people, how to identify what are the true qualities of your kings who are kings by birthright. Because we now pretend it. Daneyel, Zenzanga Kona Bozra, the son of Sadie and Arthur, the grandson of Cinderella, the great-grandson of Bawil, the great-great-grandson of Mary. More and more.